Global warming. That's the big one. That's the one they're trying to get celebrities to endorse. And it is the big one, I suppose. It's the end of the world, but it can bring brilliant weather to England. Serious point though, isn't it? How would you go to Bob in Yorkshire, who's had a lovely summer, he's playing cricket and barbecuing, and you go, it's all got to stop, Bob. All got to stop. You can't drive your car anymore. You can't use aerosols because you'll eventually stress out some Eskimo. He's not going to give a fuck, is he? Sorry, that's racist. Oh, sorry. I don't know what's come over me tonight. I'm really sorry. You can't say Eskimo anymore. They want to be called Inuits. So, I don't know who's complaining. You live in snow. Who's going, oh, Gervais called us what? Oh, my blood's boiling. Which is a good thing here. No. The first Eskimos, oh, sorry, racist, Inuits, migrated from Asia across land masses that are no longer there, and they settled in the polar regions of northern Canada, Siberia, and Greenland. And when they got there, and the one in front went, this is all right, isn't it? Why didn't the one at the back go, what? Should we settle here? Forever? Are you serious? Yeah, why not? Because I'm fucking freezing. Let's keep walking, let's find a tree. Fucking hell. But the scariest statistic that I've heard about the erosion of this planet in recent years is that by 2030, there'll be no fish in the sea. According to a CNN report, best estimate, no fish by the year 2030. And I blame Comic Relief. Remember that stupid slogan they came up with? Give a man a fish and he'll eat for a day. Give a man a fishing rod and he'll go fucking mental, won't he? Another one. Give me that. Give him a fish, greedy bastard. Comic Relief. Not a year goes by where Richard Curtis doesn't call me up and go, oh, Ricky, Africa's still the poorest place on the planet. It's riddled with AIDS and famine. It's war-torn. Would you like to go there? And no, it sounds fucking awful. You're really not selling it to me, Richard. Once he's called me and it wasn't about that. He offered me a part in The Vicar of Dibley. And I said, tell me about this Africa trip again. Oh, she started it. It's not a disease. When I first got famous, I knew that if I put myself in the office as opposed to just stay behind the scenes, my life would change, but I wanted people to know it was an upshot of what I did. Fame wasn't the driving force, that the work was, and I didn't want to be lumped in with those celebrities that do anything to become famous. Do you know what I mean? And I was very prickly about the whole subject, and one of the first interviews I did after The Office broke in about 2001, the journalist really rubbed me up the wrong way with this question. She said, so what advice would you give to anyone else who wants to become famous? And I went, I'd tell them to go out and kill a prostitute. Which I thought was a really clever answer. She looked at me like I was mental. And I didn't do this bit in Ipswich. A local paper called me from Ipswich and she went, are you worried about offending people? I went, well, yeah, because it's not the point of what I do. And she went, no, but the joke's about the Ipswich murder. I went, it's not a joke about the Ipswich murder. That's a true anecdote. I really said that to a journalist, and it happened 6 years before the Ipswich murders, which ruined her angle a little bit. And she actually went, oh, did you hear about the Ipswich murders, and that's what reminded you? I went, no. It's nothing to do with murder, it's a slight on fame. It's like going, well, if you just want to become famous, do something horrendous. That was, and I explained it to her, and she went, oh, well, thanks very much. So the next day, she went with the headline, Ricky Gervais apologises for sick joke. I thought, what are the rules? I've explained it to her, and she does these vox pops and this whole sort of string of Chinese whispers. Oh, that's racist. I'm so sorry about this. I don't know what's come over me. Suggesting that Chinese people can't whisper. Sorry about that. That would be a strange racial trait, wouldn't it? Bigots getting hold of that one, going, the trouble with the Chinese is they can't fucking whisper. What? They can't whisper. Of course they can. They can't. The Chinese cannot whisper. Watch this. Chang, whisper to me. Hello! Oh, for fuck's sake. Shouting hero must be racist. Come on. On the same day, The Sun published a picture of Jade Goody with the caption, racist scum. They published a picture of that Chinese snooker player with the caption, pot noodle. But when the journalist said to me, oh, what advice do you want to be famous? And I tend to go to prostitute. It's meaning, look, if you think that's all you care about, just being famous, you can do something terrible if that's the only aim. Serial killers want to become famous. The way it's going, where people do anything to be famous, I can imagine people at home now reading the paper going, this rapist is getting a lot of column inches. Do you know what I mean? Where will it end? Have you seen those adverts on telly for rape? Not adverts for rape, not... Starts 10 a.m, everyone must go. No, it's... It's two blokes, and one of them's bragging. He's going, yeah, got off with a lovely bird the other night. We was kissing and cuddling. Then it got a bit more serious, and I shoved her down onto the sofa, and he morphs, and he's in court. And the voiceover goes, if you don't get consent, you could go to prison for rape. What sort of society has to remind someone not to rape? Was there people going, just off out raping, mum? Oh no, remember? Remember the advert? What? You can't rape. I can't what? You can't rape. I can't what? Whose idea was that campaign? Going, we got to remind them. Was there people in court with the judge going, why did you rape her? I forgot. You'd forget your head if it wasn't screwed on. Get out of here, you scamp. Have you heard those local radio ads on a similar subject? It's a quiet street, sound of stiletto heels, and a car goes, and he goes, need a lift, darling. And the voiceover goes, if you want to know the price of an illegal minicab, just ask a rape victim. Don't. Worst advice I've ever had. No, it really winds them up because it brings back terrible memories. So I don't want you to make the same mistake I did. I just burst into an incident room and went, how much to Hounslow? And she went, whoo. So really irresponsible advertising. Like that one, hit me at 30 miles an hour and there's an 80% chance I'll live. Encouraging gambling. Now, when I'm at home, I watch hours and hours of Discovery Channel and History Channel. Hours, Discovery Channel, History Channel. Ask me anything about sharks and Nazis. Round of applause there for... They're not as bad as a lot of people make out. Sharks, I mean. Nazis, awful. Right? Sharks, brilliant. Amazing creature, okay? It can hone in on a floundering fish, right? Through the vibrations that it picks up through electrical impulses, through sensors in its flank. It doesn't need its eyes, but contrary to popular belief, their eyes are very good, okay? But it can smell and taste the slightest human secretion of blood and sweat, 1 part in a billion from a mile away. A shark would have found Anne Frank like that. Nazis, rubbish. I've been to her house. It's tiny. Every day they went in. Okay, let's move on. Sarge, can we look upstairs today? No, there's no one down here. Move on. Sarge, what's that tapping? She had time to write a book, for Christ's sake. Well, it ends a bit abruptly and no sequel. Lazy. No, but... Not a traditional subject for comedy, the old Holocaust. But I will say something about the Holocaust, and I'm sticking my neck out here, but in my opinion, I blame Adolf Hitler. He was the ringleader. Old Adolf. That name's died out, hasn't it? He killed that dead, didn't he? No one's calling their kid Adolf nowadays. No little Adolfs going to school. Loads of Brads and Angelinas, but no... Look, you don't hear the teacher doing the register. Brad here, Angelina here, Adolf here. I do that quick so no one can take a picture of me doing that. No, but people make excuses for him. People say, oh, he was stupid, he was easily led, he didn't mean that. What do you mean he didn't mean that? They say, oh no, he was influenced by the political philosopher Friedrich Nietzsche, right? Because Nietzsche wrote this paper talking about a Superman. He said, not all men are born equal. And Hitler misinterpreted this and went way too far with it. And think of that. You're a great scholar, you've done this work, and you get a call from the Führer. And the Führer goes, all right, Nietzsche. Yes. Yeah, good, what do you want? He goes, just read your book. What do you think? Love it. Love all that, man and Superman, not everyone's equal, kill all the Jews. Sorry? Not everyone's equal, so kill all the Jews. I didn't like that. I read between the lines. I didn't mean that. That's terrible. You haven't been killing... You haven't been killing Jewish people, have you? What? Have you been killing Jewish people? Yeah. A few. How many? 6 million. 6 million? That's all. I won't do any more. Leave it at 6. That's terrible. I won't do any more. Stay for dinner? Well, I will, but be careful in future. I will. Are you writing any other books? Well, I am, but I'm scared to tell you about it. I won't do anything. What's your new book called? My new book is called The Gypsies. Do we need them, Mum? Cheers. No, don't applaud that. We shouldn't talk about such things. It's not like we're in peace times now, is it? There's a little thing going on in a country called Iraq, which is not my favourite war. My favourite war is... oh, there's so many. They're good for different reasons. Falklands. That's probably the Falklands, because we won that one, and it was great. It was against Argentina. Yeah, weird. We're going to war with Argentina. All right, okay, fair enough. Yeah. But the reason it's my favourite war is that it was a range war, and what that means is the Argentine guns could fire 9 kilometres. The British guns could fire 17 kilometres. So we just parked our ships 10 kilometres away, and theirs were falling into the sea, and we were shelling the shit out of them. It's the war equivalent of holding a midget at arm's length. And he's flayed it, and you're just kicking him in the bollocks like that. Vietnam, best soundtrack. Second World War, best ending. That had to be the end. That was a great finale. You couldn't follow that, could you? People are worried about that. They go, oh, atomic energy. Oh, it's bad. The effects are still being felt today. But, oh, it ended a war. And that's good. And it was discovered by Einstein. And he's a genius. And in his 1903 paper, he said that light could be described as discrete bundles of energies that when irradiated onto an unstable... What maniac thinks like that? Really? I'm not a doctor, but I think that's what turned Stephen Hawking's mad, too much thinking. Do you know what I mean? The universe is expanding. Of course it is, Stephen. Yeah, of course it is, yeah. Jeez. Take a day off, go for a walk. Not a walk, but I mean, no. Open a window. Watch a bit of TV. Robot Wars is on. You love that, don't you? Greatest mind on the planet. People say, oh, we should never go at Stephen Hawking. Oh, he's a genius. He's not a genius, he's pretentious. Born in Oxford and talks with that fake American accent. It is fantastic to be here in the greatest city in the world. Thank you so much. Oh, this is my second night in New York. I did a few gigs in Los Angeles, but a lot of those we donated the money to the American Cancer Society. So this is better because I keep all the money. So, but we did raise thousands of dollars or hundreds of pounds, whichever way. What's it like being a third world country? Oh dear. I know what you're thinking straight away. Ricky Gervais, are you still doing stuff for charity? Shut up. No, don't. What? I do too much. No, I don't. What? How much did I raise for cancer alone last year? It doesn't matter. Why is it? What? Give us a ballpark figure. Millions. Millions. And they are welcome to it. But I will say this, if I ever get cancer myself, I'm going to walk into the nearest hospital and go, right, I paid for that machine. Get that little bald fucker off it. Talking of little bald fuckers, I did the teenage cancer gig last year. What? At the Royal Albert Hall. I'd done it before, I did it in 2006. But they called again last year. We're still ill. Okay, you lasted. No, it's a great gig. And the teenagers with cancer getting free and everything. That's the sort of guy I am. And they sit in the front row. Oh, lucky little... And they get to come backstage afterwards and meet me. What a treat that is for them. So much better than going to Disney World, where the rides can make you sick if you're in that state. So meeting me, it's thumbs up. So, and I was doing the gig this last time, and I looked down, I recognised one of them. I thought, oh yeah, he came backstage 2 years ago. He was telling me about his illness, and I signed some stuff for him, and he said, oh, he just turned 18 and how hard it was. And I was thinking, well, that was 2 years ago. So now he must be 20. So how the fuck is he still a teenager? Lying little shit. He wasn't lying about the cancer, he was riddled with it. It hurt him to laugh, but he shouldn't... So I was doing the gig, and he was laughing along, and I thought, yeah, you laugh it up, mate. I was fuming. And it got too much for me, and I went, all right, mate, I recognise you. He went, you came backstage 2 years ago. I went, yeah. You said you're 18. He went, yeah, so you're 20 now. He went, yeah. I said, get out. And I called security, and he struggled, but he was weak. They'd worked out, you could tell. Although they had trouble getting hold of him to start with, but then they got him and they pulled it. His drip nearly had someone's eye out. I went, get him out. The crowd started booing. I went, hear that? They don't want to see someone like you take the piss out of me. Off you go. Oh. Cheers, everyone. That's a big can, isn't it? I'm not showing off. I want you to know that is a big can, and I'm not a dwarf. Oh, I did a big charity gig last year for autism. And like most people, my only experience of autism until recently was Dustin Hoffman's brilliant portrayal in Rain Man. But I've just got this new house in London, and the neighbours were coming round and going, oh, yeah, hi, poking their noses in, basically. But I thought, you know, I'd be nice to them for now. When I get a big gate, they can fuck off. One couple, they've got an autistic son. And the mother was talking to me and said, oh, this is Douglas, he's 17, and he never goes out because he hasn't got any friends. So I thought, right, okay, this is where I can show him that, you know, I'm a rich, handsome man off the telly, but I've also got a heart of gold. And I said, oh, I'll take him out. I went, really? I went, yeah. So I went back on the Saturday, true, and she said, oh, he loves the zoo. And the zoo's only about a mile from my new house in Hampstead I live. And so I'm walking along the street with Douglas, okay, and he doesn't take his eyes off his mum all the way along the street like that. And his mum's in the doorway, and she's waving to him, and she's crying, right? Eventually she shuts the door and she goes indoors. I hailed a cab and said, right, take us to the casino. So, you've got to make it work for you, haven't you? So, I signed him in. He had a little suit on and everything. I thought, this is going to be brilliant, okay? I went straight to the blackjack table. That's their best one. I don't know why. They're brilliant at that. I went, okay, Dougie, you know the score. Bet 2 for good and 1 for bad. Do you understand? He went, yeah. I went, hoo. So I was betting. I was about £1,000 down in half an hour. And I went, sorry, hold on. Douglas, do that thing. Count the cards. Do that thing. Tell me when there's a good card coming. Tell me bet 2 for good. Do you understand? He went, yeah. So I was another £1,000 down. I thought, what sort of an autistic... So I was confused. I threw some toothpicks on the carpet. I said, how many? He went, I don't know. I said, there's 7. I can see there's 7 from here. Oh. Wow. Why did I get that one? So I took him back home and I said to the mother, there's been a mistake. He walks like Rain Man, but he's got none of that clever shit. I know it's wrong. But I don't want to talk about it, but I do an awful lot for charity. But I think some causes are more worthy than others. Joking aside, obviously cancer's a very worthy cause, autism's a very worthy cause. But I got asked to do a benefit gig recently for sufferers of obesity. What? She went, sufferers of obesity. I went, do you mean fat people? She went, no, because obesity is... Well, she actually went, no, because she was eating. She went, no, just, between snacks, right? And she went, obesity is a disease. No, it's not, is it? You just like eating, don't you? No, it's not, is it? How is that a disease? Oh, I'm so fucking ill. I'm well ill. I said, what's the disease? She went, everything tastes good. Everything? Yeah. Not salads. It's not a disease, is it? Leprosy is a disease. Can you imagine Jesus in the temple? People shuffling up to him in bandages going, Jesus, my face is falling off. I can't stop now. There's a fat chick on her third pie. People say, they make excuses, don't they, fat people? They say, it's glandular. It's not glandular, it's greed. Okay? It's big bones. Yeah, big bones covered in meat and gravy. They complain. And it's their own fault. Oh, I'm getting fat. Oh, look, I'm getting fat. Oh, aeroplane seats. They're not big enough for someone like me. No, they're not. Because if they were, we'd only get 12 fucking people on the plane. It's not fair. It is fair. That's what does it. And if we're talking about fairness and aeroplanes, why is it I get the same luggage allowance as a guy who's 400 pounds? We're both allowed to carry on 32 kilograms to the plane. I want to go, no, he used up his 32 kilograms on his tits. It's not a disease. I saw a documentary back in England about this woman who was 350 pounds because she ate 10 burger and fries a day. That'll do it. 10 separate meals of burger and fries. 10 separate trips to McDonald's, right? In a cab. Oh, didn't even walk that. Wasted calories, okay? So, to stop her eating these meals, they wired her jaw together. So she liquidized 10 burger and fries a day. Now she's on burger smoothies. Now she's not even chewing. That used up 3 calories. So lo and behold, she gets fatter. So they admitted her to have that thing done where you staple your stomach together. And she's sitting there in hospital, looking all depressed. Well, you can't eat for an hour before an operation, can you? Lank hair, smock. Christ knows where they got that, right? And she said, it's a really dangerous procedure, but it's the only option left. One, jogging. You don't even walk. Right. Salad. You don't like the taste. 3, 9 burger and fries a day. It's a start, isn't it? It's a starter to her. Jesus. We have some fat people in Britain, but you, like everything else, are the gold medalists of that as well, right? You'd win that in the Olympics. I saw this episode of Jerry Springer. It was called Jerry Springer Saves the World's Fattest Man. You've got to watch that. So he's there going, okay, let's try and save this guy's life. He's got a heart of gold as well. He's like me, right? So it cut to this guy at home in his house. They couldn't bring him to the studio. They had a camera crew there. And I say house, he was in a trailer, obviously. And he was. He was like a big blob on the bed. He sort of filled the trailer. He looked like an uncooked souffle. And you could just see like his eyes in this doughy mess. And he was going, I don't want to die, Jerry. I don't want to die. And I felt sorry for him. I got over that. And they said, how much do you weigh? And he weighed 1,000 pounds. 1,000 pounds. Now, my point is this. When he weighed himself one day and he was, say, 500 pounds, didn't he think then that was a lot? Didn't he go, that's a lot? For a human. For what is essentially a land mammal, that's a lot. I'll only have 8 breakfasts today. I'm not having a go. I'm a little bit overweight myself. The other night someone shouted, no shit. I thought it could be that. Wouldn't that be great? You go to the doctor, he goes, no, you're not overweight, you're just constipated. Woohoo! Start again. Ape. And some people on social media get annoyed when I say we're apes, religious types, Americans. One bloke said to me, speak for yourself, dude, I ain't no ape. And I sent back, well, you are, because we're all apes. He went, nah, what's a gorilla ever done? We've walked on the moon. I sent back, what do you mean we? You've done fuck all. You've spelt moon wrong. It's weird, isn't it, when people take credit for the sort of rest of the species, because that's what's pushed civilization forward, a few geniuses along the way. Like, there's 8 billion people on this planet. Most of us do nothing. We eat shit and die. Like, if there was a meteor heading towards Earth to definitely destroy it, 4 billion people would get down on their knees and pray to their particular god, and a few hundred scientists would work out how to get Bruce Willis up there to stop it. It's an odd concept, praying, for me. I can't work out how God decides. All those people praying at once for different things. Is it like best idea wins? Or is it a democracy? Like he puts things at each issue, he goes, right, votes for and against, If it's a democracy, we're in trouble. We're a tiny nation. Like, next time there's a flood warning in the West Country, if we're all going, oh, I hope everyone's okay. If the whole of China is going, yeah, fuck Bristol. There's 1 billion of them. Oh, yeah. More about China later. But yeah, I've always found praying quite strange. Like, if I bump into a friend or neighbour and I know they've got a little kid and I go, oh, how's so-and-so? And they go, oh, not good. He's in intensive care. We don't know if he's going to pull through, but I pray every night. What I do, as an experiment, I go home and I pray twice that he doesn't make it. I don't do that. Years old as Homo sapiens. We've been around as hominids for a few million years, and of course, along with every other life form that exists at the moment, we've been evolving for 3.5 billion years. Everything that exists at the moment all came from the same little blob of organic matter 3.5 billion years ago. That's why it annoys me when people say, oh yeah, humans, we're the most evolved. We're not the most evolved. We're no more evolved than the slug or the snail. People go, oh, come on, look at them. Yeah, they got it right early doors. Nature keeps testing them. Do you want eyes? No. Not really. No. I have noticed one thing about the slug and the snail. Let's not split hairs, let's be honest. The snail is basically a slug with a shell on it, isn't it, right? But if you pull the shell off the snail, it starts giving it all, oh, I'm dying. And the slug is like, welcome to the real world. 35, 40, if you're lucky. You're born, you grow, you mate, you're playing with your kids, you get a cut, you go, oh, what's that, dead? Right? But now with antibiotics and medicine, we've pushed that forward. A child born today can expect to live to about 100. And scientists said soon that'll be 120. And science also said that in the near future, there's no reason with proper care and attention that human beings won't regularly live to 150 years old, which is amazing until you remember that we get a set number of brain cells, right? Which we only lose. You can't get them back. So in the future, there's going to be 15 billion people on the planet, you know, half of them are going to be over 100, and they're all going to have Alzheimer's. It's going to be like Dawn of the Dead. It's going to be fucking horrible. My auntie died of Alzheimer's. I don't know how you die of Alzheimer's. She forgot to live, right? And for the last couple of years, she was in her home, and my cousin, her only kid, used to visit her like once a week, and it got more and more depressing because soon she didn't recognise him, and then she didn't know who she was, or you know, and then she died. And at the funeral, we were sort of reminiscing about the good days, some of the funny, absent-minded things she said and did, and we realised, oh, probably that was the beginning of the disease before it was diagnosed. And this is a true story. Once, my cousin went home from work, and he went in, and she went, your tea's in the oven, I've had mine already. He went, oh, cheers, Mum. And it was like a fish pie, right? He ate the fish pie, and he went, oh, God. And he ran upstairs, vomited, went back down and went, Mum, the fish is off, I've just been really sick. And she said, yeah, it made me really sick. Not your grandparents. They grew up dodging bombs and their firstborn having polio and the menfolk dying at 50 of lung disease. They could take a fucking joke, right? It was all about the wind-up. I used to wind up my mum all the time. This is a true story. When I went off to university, after about a week, I phoned home. My mum answered. She went, hello? I went, it's Ricky. She went, you all right? I went, not really. I'm in hospital. I think I'm blind. She went, what? I went, no, I'm only joking. Right? She went, you silly bugger. She went, I could have had a heart attack, right? And she's right, she could have had a heart attack. And I knew that. That's how committed I am to having a laugh. Gervais, duh. Yeah. And they're sad that their baby's got AIDS, but they're sort of laughing along. Armageddon, And it gets to that bit, baby's got AIDS. And she goes, oh my God, Jeff, why are they all laughing at us and our baby with AIDS? And Jeff goes, well, they're not laughing at us per se. She goes, well, they are. They've named us and everything. They're literally laughing at us in this bit. And Jeff goes, yeah, but we're a fictional couple with a fictional baby with AIDS. Anyone offended by that is a fucking moron. And then he goes, and at least he didn't do the accent. So... And then she goes, yeah, but only because Jane begged him not to. Working class kids, particularly from working class mums, because they're busy, they're doing everything. They're keeping men in check, they're bringing up kids, they're going to work, they're saving the world. They haven't got time. They have to frighten their kids into behaving well. They have to go to dark places to shock them into not fucking dying. Do you know what I mean? So, like, if I was little and my mum made my tea, and it wasn't my favourite, it was boiled potatoes instead of chips every day, and I went, I don't like them, my mum would go straight to, of course you do. There's children your age in Africa and they're starving to death, right? And I go, Jesus, all right. You know what I mean? The true story, I was 7 years old, right? And I'd been playing in the park and I came running in and my mum went, Ricky, come here, sit down. There must have been a local pedo incident, right? And my mum went, never go in the toilets in the park again. And I went, why? She knew she couldn't explain paedophilia to a 7-year-old, right? But this is what she came up with. She said, because there's a man going round and he's cutting little boys' willies off. I was like, oh, what? That's a fucking thing, is it? I didn't sleep for a week. And it worked. I never went in those fucking toilets again. But she knew instinctively. If she'd have gone, Ricky, come in, sit down. What's the matter? Never go in the toilets again. Why not? There's a paedophile. What's a paedophile? Oh, he's a man who gives you sweets and puppies. Bring it on, you know what I mean? At 7 years old, I'd wank off anyone for a puppy. I'd be like that, wouldn't it? Be like that. Gonna get a puppy here. I'm getting a puppy. Gonna get a puppy here. Oh, fucking hell. Oh, I cannot do it left-handed at all. Fucking hell, come on. Have you been drinking? Oh, Jesus Christ. Come on. Fucking hell. Oh. I've started, so I'll finish. Oh, fuck me. Oh, what sort of puppy is it? A what? A Labrador? Throw in a kitten, I'll give you a blowjob. I'll go over like that. Kitten, puppy, come. Evidence of people murdered in the Holocaust, and he films them coming into a Jewish cemetery, and they each leave a stone on the grave to represent their family members that were murdered, and it builds up and it's very moving. And so I think I get the ambiguity. Does it have a sad ending? Yes, in the sense that 6 million Jews pointlessly lost their life, but no, in the sense there was still enough left over to build a little rockery. So I asked one question myself on this. Is James Corden in it? I did look at one other film briefly, Titanic, right? And it's got all the same sort of questions. And the one where it goes, are any animals harmed? Someone answers, there were no explicit scenes of animals being harmed, but Rose did have a goldfish, which probably didn't make it. I think the goldfish in the bowl on the sideboard when the boat hits the iceberg, and he's all like that, right? And people are running around going, we're going in the water. And he's all smug then, and he's going, don't worry about it. Oh no, not water. Then he gets in the sea and he goes, it's very salty, isn't it? It's very salty. Barn, and the mother's suspicious, right? And she goes, is it Old Yeller all right? Yeah, he's fine. But the kid knows that he's been bitten, right? And soon, Old Yeller starts foaming at the mouth and getting aggressive. And the mother turns up with a gun, and the kid goes, no. And she goes, you know we've got to do it, boy. He goes, yeah, but he's my dog. I'll do it. And he shoots his own dog. And I was like in floods for like a year, right? Anyway, fast forward. Right, a few years ago, I was on tour, I was on a train, and I get a text from Jane, and she says, I'm finally watching Old Yeller. And I sent back, enjoy, right? I didn't think, right? 20 minutes later, I get a text, nothing happens to that dog, does it? I couldn't believe my fucking luck. I thought she knew, so I sent back, no, of course not. 1 hour later, I get a text, you cunt. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you very much. Cheers. Thanks to everyone who bought a ticket. If you bought a platinum ticket, the money goes to an animal charity, and you've raised $2 million so far, so thank you so much. I even get a bit of stick about that on social media. There's always someone who goes, oh, why do you only speak up for animals? And I go, well, because they haven't got a voice of their own except parrots. And I think that's why we don't eat parrots. Everyone around the world eats every other type of bird, don't they? Everyone in the world eats fucking chickens and ducks and geese and turkeys and ostriches. No one eats parrots. Do you know why? If you go and try and eat a parrot, it goes, fuck off, you cunt. So speaking up really does work, right? And that has sort of been one of the themes of the show, because I know in the real world, in normal jobs, everyday life, you get in trouble. People tell you off for saying certain things or thinking certain things or even laughing at certain things, right? They say you're bad for laughing at that. And some of you take it to heart. You go, oh my God, am I a bad person? No, you're not. One, you can't choose your sense of humour. You can't, it's involuntary. And two, that's exactly what humour is for, to laugh at bad shit, to get us through it, right? And... And we've established you can't even choose your own thoughts. How often have you been on a train station and you suddenly thought, what if I just pushed that bloke? And then you go, why have I thought that? Am I a psychopath? No, you're not. You're the opposite. You're a safe pair of hands. You're testing yourself. You're reminding yourself how terrible that would be. You're a good person, right? I don't get that one. What I get is I'm talking to a really sweet old lady and I suddenly start thinking, what if I just spat in her face now? Why would I? Another theme of the show has been words change and I'm woke, haha. But here's the irony. I think I am woke, but I think that word has changed. I think if woke still means what it used to mean, that you're aware of your own privilege, you try and maximise equality, minimise oppression, be anti-racist, anti-sexist, anti-homophobic. Yes, I'm definitely woke. If woke now means being a puritanical, authoritarian bully who gets people fired for an honest opinion or even a fact, then no, I'm not woke. Fuck that. But here's the deal. To each their own, laugh at whatever you find funny. All laughter's good and you're amazing. Good night. Show so far. So I want to talk about something I haven't talked about before, and that's to give you a glimpse behind the curtain of the Golden Globes. Right? And thank you. I last hosted the Golden Globes in 2020. It was the 5th time over a 10-year period, and I liked them more and more, and the last one was my favourite, because the world changed in that 10 years. You know, like the first time I hosted them in like 2010, the press of America, they hated me. Right? Who is this annoying Brit insulting the most important people on the planet? By the last time I hosted, they were like, yeah, go on, fuck them. Fuck them, right? Because ordinary people had got sick and tired of being lectured by these multi-millionaire, nothing wrong with that, these liberal elite entertainers telling them how to vote and how to recycle, when everyone knew they were getting free jet rides to Pedo Island. So it really hit the zeitgeist. But it was always the same deal. Whenever they said, do you want to host? I said, yeah, I'll host. I said, but I'm going to write all my own jokes, which is unheard of, apparently. I said, I'm going to write all my own jokes, and I'm not going to rehearse, so you can't hear the jokes beforehand, and you can't cancel any. And they let me do that. I did have to show a lawyer the jokes about an hour before to make sure I hadn't broken any laws, and I never had, because I know the law. Sometimes the lawyer would go, are you sure you want to say that? Right? And I go, is it legal? They go, yep, technically. I go, let's do it. Right? I've never had a joke stopped by the Golden Globes. That says something about them, to be fair, right? So, anyway, thank you. This last time, they said, oh, you've got to see the lawyer the day before now. I went, OK, great. So I was driven to the Beverly Hills Centre, and they're all setting up, right? And the photos of the A-listers are all in their chairs. I go, oh, there's Brad, there's Liz. And they went, good. I went, oh, great. I went, yeah. And then the head lawyer, he was about 60 years old. He had, like, white hair. He went, oh, yes, there was one thing. Now, I did this joke, I don't know if you remember. It went, the world got to see James Corden as a fat pussy. He was also in the movie Cats, but no one saw that. And it goes on, at one point I go, but Dame Judi Dench said it was the role she was born to play because she loves nothing better than plonking herself down on the carpet, lifting her back leg and licking her own minge. Right? So, this lawyer went, he said, this is all true, by the way. He went, when you say James Corden is a fat pussy, that's just referring to his role in Cats, right? I went, yeah. Yeah, definitely. Nah. And he went, okay, great. I thought, this is easy. I went to go, call yourself a lawyer, right? And that was it. And I went, have a great show. And I left. And as I was leaving, I saw one of the other lawyers lean in and show this head lawyer his iPhone. And the head lawyer went, oh, yeah. He went, oh, sorry, Ricky, can you come back a minute? Right, so I'm there. I went, yeah. So he had the phone there. They'd looked up the word minge. I thought I'd gotten away with it, right? So it's now like I'm getting told off. And the head lawyer said, now it says here that the word minge is a derogatory term for female genitalia. I went, well, yeah, it's a slang word for vagina in England. You don't even use it here, do you? He went, no, we don't, but we go out around the world, and with due diligence, now we know it's derogatory, we'll have to bleep that word live. I went, don't bleep the word, like, because people at home won't know what I've said. It'll ruin the... I said, it's literally the punchline. He said, if it's derogatory, I have to... I said, well, what word could I use that you wouldn't bleep? And he went, well, you could say vagina. I went, I'm not saying vagina, right? Nothing funny about it. It's so clinical. I was thinking, Judi Dench at home going, why is he talking about my actual vagina, right? I said, minge isn't like that. It's like, it's not so specific, because vagina's so... Where's your vagina? There, right? Where's your minge? There. It's like... Then one of the younger lawyers went, what about box? I went, I'm not fucking saying box, mate, right? So much for looking at your own box, right? I said, minge is perfect. I said, people won't know what... If they're American, they won't know it. I said, it's not offensive. It's like... I said, kids use the word in England. Right? They weren't having it. So I said, what about flange? Right? So they looked up the word flange, right? And he went, well, that'd just be confusing, because in America, a flange is a part of a sink unit. I went, oh, well, I said, please let me say minge and don't bleep it. I was really rooting for minge. Right? It was like 12 Angry Men. I go, no one's leaving till I can say minge. Right? And after about 10 minutes, I wore them down. Whatever, said, oh, that won't work. So I was going, please. I said, I'll write them. You won't get any complaints and all this sort of... And eventually, the head lawyer went, okay, you can say minge. I went, and you won't bleep it? He went, no, we won't bleep it. I went, you promise? He went, yes. And I left. I knew they would. And they fucking did, right? So, when I said minge, I pointed. The most frequently asked question I get about the Golden Globes is always, was someone so angry about what you said about them? They came up to you afterwards and I always go, oh God, no. I wouldn't even say if that had happened, because I don't like gossip, to be honest, right? There was one guy I thought took it the wrong way, right? It wasn't a bad... No, the cameras went to him, and I'm not in control of the cameras, so I think he was caught in the headlights. It was Elton John, right? But it wasn't a bad joke. I was introducing Madonna, okay? And I later found out that him and Madonna were in this feud, and he hated being mentioned in the same sentence as it. But I didn't know at the time. I was confused, right? And it wasn't part of the monologue, but I'm there for like 3 hours, right? And now and again, the stage manager put a head around the door and go, do you want to introduce so-and-so? And I go, yeah, fine. And I come out and I either do it straight or I ad-lib. And this was little ad-lib because I saw Elton in the front row, right? So this was a joke. I came out and I said, our next presenter is the Queen of Pop. Not you, Elton. Sit down, right? And he sort of went to him, he sort of went, and I was like, oh, fuck, he hated that. And I was thinking, why is he, I said, oh, God, do you think I'm homophobic? Oh, I'm not homophobic. There's always in my head. Then I thought, he must have heard worse, right? In the 1980s, right, when Elton John was in the closet. He wasn't out. He was married to a woman, right? He was also chairman of Watford Football Club. And he and his then wife would go along and watch Watford play, and the entire crowd would sing, "Don't bend down when Elton's around, or you might get a willy up your arse." Which puts my little quip into perspective, doesn't it? I don't know how football fans know how to start at the right time in the same key. Do they hand out sheet music before a fucking... We're doing Willy Up the Arse in C. Jeff's doing a solo. It's like... And what they usually do, they get a traditional tune so everyone knows it, and they change the lyrics. Some genius changes the lyrics, right, to be as offensive about someone or something or somewhere or whatever, right? So the tune they used to use, I remember it, it was that old Cockney knees-up song. My old man said, follow the van and don't dilly-dally on the way. Do you know that one? Remember the term dilly-dally? They use it very creatively in their version, right? So this was their lyric. It was the 80s. It's not politically correct. I apologise. But they're football hooligans. What are you going to do, right? So let's analyse their genius lyrics, right? This is what they used to sing. Don't bend down when Elton's around, or you might get a willy up your arse. I mean, you might. Not necessarily his, but, you know, like mathematicians amongst you would have to go, yeah, there's a slight... Like, if 1,000 people bent down when Elton was around, one of them might randomly... Someone might come off a bicycle and go, sorry, like that, and they go, oh, fuck, and the scientists will go, one. Do you know what I mean? There's a slight... Also... When Elton's around, that's ambiguous. That could fit, like, you could have two gentlemen having anal sex in a hotel room, right? And then the next day they find out that Elton John was staying in the next room. They go, oh, I got a willy up the arse when Elton was around, you know? I'll give them that. Anyway. Don't bend down when Elton's around, or you might get a willy up your arse. He has the nerve to call us dear. We all know he's a fucking quill. Sorry, right? And he goes... He dallies and dillies. They've reversed it. Why? He dallies and dillies. He plays with people's willies. Again, I don't know what play with means in this context. It could be like, wow. It could be anything, couldn't it? Wow. I thought you were going to suck it. No. He dallies and dillies. He plays with people's willies. He's up every arse in town. I'd stop him there. I'd go, no, you know, that is provably false. He's not up every arse in town, is he? We can prove that. Right, take a small town. Take Watford. 120,000 people. He is not up 120,000 arses, is it? I mean, half of them are women, so 60,000 tops, right? And I don't think he's been up 60,000. And if he has, good luck to him, but that's not my point. This is my point, right? What did his then wife think of that? Because he's in the closet, right? You know, and she's just married Elton John the Pop. She couldn't be... She's in love. She's so proud of him. Elton John, and he's chairman of Watford. She goes, look, I'm married Elton John the Pop Star. I'm married to Elton John the Pop Star. And then the entire crowd sing, don't bend down when Elton's around, or you might get a willy up your arse. She must have gone, why are they singing that, Elton? And he goes, I don't fucking know. Watch the game. You know what I mean? It must have been awkward. Well, that's nearly it for me, but I've just... I said earlier, I've never had a joke stopped by the Golden Globes, and that is absolutely true, but I've just remembered a joke that I stopped myself, because I bottled it a bit, and I think I was being overcautious. I want to share it with you, right? So, I got the chance to introduce Jason Momoa. Do you know who Jason Momoa is? Yeah, right? So I thought the meta joke would be to show my hypocrisy and my cowardice. Like, I'm okay to slag off actors, who's scared of actors, but when it comes to a big dude, right, I'm not so brave. So I was going to go, I've got nothing bad to say about our next presenter, because he's got a cock like a baby's arm, right? And I told my mate I was going to do that, and my mate went, do you think people think that's racist? I went, why is it racist? He went, well, because he's a person of colour, and I went, no, but it's nothing to do with that. It's to do with the fact that he's so big that he'd probably have a cock like a baby's arm, right? So I didn't do it. And I had a great follow-up as well. I'll tell you the whole thing. This is the whole thing. This is what I was going to do, right? Right. So I'll go out and go, I've got nothing bad to say about our next presenter because he's got a cock like a baby's arm. Unlike Peter Dinklage, who's got an arm like a baby's cock. I reckon it's the next 10 years that I will. But as of now, my arsehole has never let me down. Very underrated, the human arsehole. Everyone goes, oh, the human brain, the greatest computer known to man. All the human liver can regenerate itself. Your arsehole is working 24/7. Even when you're asleep, it's like that. You're not coming out. You're not coming out. You're not coming out. Nope. You're not coming out. And you're not coming in. Because it's like a sewer in there, isn't it? But you've got a lovely little manhole cover. Think of that in real life. Walking along a pavement, it's lovely pavement. If that burst, and you know what's in a sewer, don't you? Piss and shit and cum and dead goldfish, and fetuses. In China, just the girl ones. Relax. I'm at that age now as well, because I'm in entertainment. People say, oh, you can have a facelift. I go, no. Have you seen facelifts? They're still just that. Like that. You know what I mean? You go to the doctor, and the doctor goes, do you want to look old or Chinese? You know, it's like, nothing wrong with looking Chinese if you're Chinese. If you're not Chinese, it's a bit weird. It's offensive. Why is that allowed? You're not allowed to black up. Why can you do that? Maybe there are terms and conditions to make sure you're never that racist. Like the doctor goes, right, we've done the eyes, but never leave the house in a little lampshade, because... Oh, so childish. It's so childish. But I hope you agree it was a positive show. It wasn't about death, it was about life. And some people are so worried about dying, they forget to live. And some people are so scared to do something. Oh, no, that's dangerous, that's dangerous. All the most fun things are dangerous. Roads are dangerous. Alcohol is dangerous. Alcohol is a poison. I should know. I sell it. Dutch barn. Right? So, yes. Right. Alcohol gives you brain disease, liver disease, kidney disease, heart disease, mental illness, but it does loosen you up at parties. So... think of all the babies born through alcohol, yeah. Many of them deformed if the mother carried on drinking. But the good thing about being born deformed is, you... Hear me out. The good thing about being born deformed is you can start drinking at a much younger age and no one gives you... Do you know what I mean? You see a normal kid drinking, you go, you little bastard. You see a deformed kid drinking, you go, yeah, go on. You know what I mean? You know what I mean. You're 8 or 9, you've had 27 painful operations, you've met Ollie Murs, have a drink, you know. Well, as you can see, I run out of quality material. What you feel, if you feel you're a woman, that makes you a woman. Cool, you know, I'm not one of these bigots that think having all that done is science going too far, you know. In fact, I don't think it's going far enough. Because I've always identified as a chimp, right? Well, I am a chimp. If I say I'm a chimp, I am a chimp, you know. Pre-op, but... and don't ever dead name me. Don't ever call me Ricky Gervais again. From now on, you call me Bobo. So... I'm going to have species realignment. I'm halfway there, to be honest. I'm sort of short with short legs and long arms. I sort of stoop like that. My back's getting hairier by the day. I've got fangs. I love nuts. Oh, I love nuts. And once, I was at the zoo, and I could tell people were looking at me, so I just started masturbating. So, I am a chimp, right? I am a chimp, if I say I'm a chimp. And so I've got to live as a chimp for a year, then have hormones, get me all nice and hairy. That'd be lovely, right? I'm going to stay a male chimp, so I can keep all that, right? A male heterosexual chimp, keep the same girlfriend. Jane will be happy. She loves me. She loves chimps, so, you know. And I reckon that's got to be easier for a man to turn into a chimp. We're so close. Than for a man to turn into a woman in many ways. You know what I mean? A bit of hair and a top lip like that, as opposed to your cock and balls ripped off and a hole gouged out into... No, I'm not a doctor, but that is the gist of it. I know which one I'd rather have done. And I'm not saying I think chimps are better than women. No way. Right? Any ladies here, right? I can't see you, but to me, every single one of you is equal to a chimp. So...
So I'm gonna have all that done. So here with that, right? I'll do all that. I'll do all the. I'll retain the ability to speak English, like in emergencies. If I'm talking to Jane, I'm going, she's going, what is it, Bobo? Going, what is it, Bobo? You left the fucking oven on. There's a fire. What, are you telling me that if Caitlyn Jenner was being chased by a wolf, right, and there was a big fence, but she had a long pole, she'd revert. She'd be over that fucking easy. So, all that done, all that, all that, doing all that, right? I'll be legally a chimp. I'll be properly chimped up, right? I'll be able to use chimp toilets and everything, right? And then I'll be walking along Hampstead High Street, holding Jane's hand. Come on, Bobo. Like that, right? We don't even hold hands now, so I don't know why she's suddenly all over me just because I'm a chimp, right? But we'll be all in love, maybe matching jumpers. So, walking along, come on, Bobo, in love. Just two guys, And then, if a bigot in a white van slows down and goes, that's fucking disgusting, I just fling shit at him and run up a tree. And that's why that joke isn't transphobic, so... Cheers. Liam Neeson. Oh, he nearly got cancelled, didn't he? Liam Neeson. Now, I don't know why he told this story, but he did at a press junket to a journalist, right? And it was where he just started saying, it was 30 years ago, he said, and my friend came home and she'd been raped, right? And that's not the funny bit. He said, she'd been raped. I said, what did the guy look like? He said he was a black guy. He said, so I got my cosh and I went out looking for the first black guy. He said, nothing happened. I came to my senses, right? But the weird thing about that story is, who has a cosh? But it was touch and go. They cancelled the premiere that night because of the backlash and that people wanted the film to be deleted. And I get it. Some people can't separate the art form with the artist's personal life. Now, I know Liam. I've worked with him. He's a lovely man. He's definitely not racist. But when that broke, even I was like, oh, will I ever be able to find Schindler's List funny again? I do still find it funny, obviously. Moves with the times, like everything else. Just think of that. In a few generations, we've gone from owning slaves, being legal and respectable in the eyes of God, to a racist being the lowest of the low, isn't he? A racist is the worst person in society these days. Actually, a paedophile is the worst. Goes paedophile, then racist. A racist paedophile is the worst if I met a racist paedophile, I'd go, fuck the little black ones too, you bigot. You know? That's fine, that's fine, it's fine. They won't cancel me for that. I mean, they've been trying to cancel me for about 15 years and they've always failed. And often the people trying to cancel me have been other comedians writing for the posh papers, doing that thing they always say, he's punching down. Well, comedy should punch up. We only punch up. We punch up. Their idea of punching up, they have a go at Boris Johnson. How the fuck is that punching up? You know, the cunt is learning disabled. He's like this fucking waterlogged Gary Busey, fucking albino Eggman thing. He can't string a sentence together. Have you heard him talk? He's like, he's a fucking moron. I punch up. I have a go at people like, I don't know, Stephen Hawking, right? Yes, the greatest brain that's ever lived. He can take it, and he wouldn't even have minded when he was alive because he's part robot, isn't he? I think he's basically a talking chair, so you can say what you want. And he was on Epstein's Island, apparently, so fuck him. I don't... What was he doing there? Why do I want to go? Why? Why? You're like just there doing fuck. I would go. What? I know pedos who'd kill for a ticket to that, and he's just taking up a space. It's probably DEI or something, and they go, we need one. Like, I'll go. What are you doing here, Steve? He go, I'm thinking weird shit. Fuck off. That is probably a hate crime. That is. It's a big buzzword at the moment, isn't it? Hate crime. Whatever happens, someone always goes, oh, was it a hate crime? Why? Makes it so much worse. Does it? Why? If I was just walking home tonight and someone randomly jumped me, beat me up, mugged me, stabbed me, threw acid in my face, I wake up in intensive care, beep, beep, beep. I open my eyes through the bandages. There's a policeman. He goes, Miss Gervais? I go, yeah. He goes, we just want to let you know it wasn't a hate crime. I go, oh, thank God for that. Pretty hateful, isn't it? But no, a hate crime is something that's based on your race, disability, sexuality. So a guy with a gun, he wants to kill someone at random. He sees a crowd. He goes, eeny, meeny, miny, mo, bang, kills someone, dead. He goes to court. The judge goes, why did you kill that person? He goes, no reason. The judge goes, so you're not a bigot? He goes, if Darren is definitely bent, you can't go around just slagging off Darren willy-nilly. Do you know what I mean? You can get sued in this country for saying someone's gay if they're not, you know, which is a homophobic law, because you can't be sued the other way around. You can't be sued for saying someone's not gay if they are, which seems unfair, doesn't it? Like, I could go up to Britain's biggest gay and go, all right, Alton, all right, and he'd love that, he'd fucking love that. If that's your game, you want to be top of the pile, so to speak, right? I'd go, all right, Alton. He'd go, yeah. I go, ha, 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 you're not a gay. He'd go, I bloody am. He'd go, I'm going to sue you. I go, you can't. You can't. He'd go, but know that I am gay. I go, I don't believe you are. He'd go, well, come on with me and see the shit I do if you don't believe me. Of course, the word queer has changed. Again, traditionally, the word queer used to mean someone who was attracted to the same sex as themselves, a gay man. Right? Now, the word queer can mean a straight man who wants some attention. I'm all queer now. Are you? Yeah, I'm right queer now. I am. Are you? Yeah. What about your girlfriend? Yeah, she's queer and all. We're just two queers queering each other up. Suck a cock? Nah. No, didn't think so. I'm not that sort of queer. Oh, what sort of a queer are you? Dyed my hair blue. So did my grandmother, and she fucking loved cock, so what are we saying? I have no evidence for that. The word handicapped, right? Again, traditionally, that was the politically correct term, the all-inclusive term for cripples and shit, right? But then they went, no, we want to be disabled. They didn't want to be disabled. They said, we want to be referred to as disabled. We don't like the term handicapped anymore. Stop using it. Say disabled. And we went, OK, fine. And that's great. Just tell me the rules. In fact, I'm a stickler for the rules. Like, if I was on a beach and a woman came running up and went, help, help, my handicapped toddler's drowning, I'd go, sorry, you're what, love? What? My handicapped toddler's drowning and he can't swim. Whoa. Do you mean your disabled toddler is drowning? She'd go, yeah. I go, right. Well, it's... Oh, dead. Wasted too much time being woke, didn't I? Well, I am woke now, and who cares? If humanity was wiped out today, the Earth would return to a paradise in a few hundred years. If we lose bees, we're a desert forever. We're not that important. We're just one species of narcissistic ape. And some people on social media get annoyed when I say we're apes, you know, religious types, Americans. One bloke said to me, speak for yourself, dude, I ain't no ape. And I sent back, well, you are, because we're all apes. He went, nah, what's a gorilla ever done? We've walked on the moon. I sent back, what do you mean we? You've done fuck all. You've spelt moon wrong. It's weird, isn't it, when people take credit for the sort of rest of the species, because that's what's pushed civilization forward, you know, a few geniuses along the way. Like, there's 8 billion people on this planet. Most of us do nothing. We eat shit and die. Like, if there was a meteor heading towards Earth to definitely destroy it, 4 billion people would get down on their knees and pray to their particular god, and a few hundred scientists would work out how to get Bruce Willis up there to stop it. It's an odd concept, praying, for me. I can't work out how God decides. All those people praying at once for different things. Is it like best idea wins? Or is it a democracy? Like he puts things at each issue, he goes, right, votes for and against, you know. If it's a democracy, we're in trouble. We're a tiny nation. Like, next time there's a flood warning in the West Country, if we're all going, oh, I hope everyone's okay. If the whole of China is going, yeah, fuck Bristol. There's a billion of them. Oh, yeah. More about China later. But yeah, I've always found praying quite strange. Like, if I bump into a friend or neighbour and I know they've got a little kid, and I go, oh, how's so-and-so? And they go, oh, not good. He's in intensive care. We don't know if he's going to pull through, but I pray every night. What I do, as an experiment, I go home and I pray twice that he doesn't make it. I don't do that. On a serious note, I've been doing I'm at that age where I'm glad we haven't got a Harold Shipman knocking round. Do you know what I mean? Those of you too young to know who Harold Shipman is, right? He is our most prolific serial killer, right? He killed 300 people. He killed old people. That's my point. He'd have his eye on me, go, oh, give him a few more years. And he was a doctor, right? But the reason you haven't heard of him, right, is because he never appears in those lists of the worst serial killers. And he was like one of the worst ever, but he didn't act like a serial killer, right? He was a GP, he was old school, he had a little shirt and tie, little tweed jacket, little beard, little glasses. He'd do house visits, he'd go on to see Edna, 85. You all right, Edna? Yeah. Do you want a cup of tea? Yes, please. And he'd make Edna a lovely cup of tea, right? Then he'd just put her in a lethal amount of opioids, right? And he'd just give Edna the tea and watch her drink it and fall asleep and die. And that was it. He didn't even masturbate. You know, yes, it is a waste, sir, yeah. And they reckon he got the idea when he was a little lad, Harold Shipman, little Harold Shipman. He watched his mum dying of lung cancer, being given morphine, and somewhat triggered him. He thought, I'll grow up, become a doctor, and I'll do this. I don't know whether it means that he liked the way the morphine got his mum out of pain. So these were like mercy killings, like, you know, reliving the kindness, or the opposite. He was jealous of old people who lived longer than his mum should have, so he was punishing them. I don't know, doesn't matter. Actually, it does matter, because if you can really understand why someone does something like that, you might spot the signs in the future and stop a crime before it happens. You know, I always think that when there's a school shooting in America, right, it's usually some emo, right, who goes into a kindergarten, kills about 30 toddlers, turns the gun on himself, right? And all the eyewitnesses, they always say the same thing. They go, oh, he was a loner, he sat at the back, he was shy, he was bullied. Let's round those cunts up now. Do you know what I mean? It's like, go into a school, see who the bully's smashing up, right? Go, I'll take it from here, mate, thank you, right? And drag that little dweeb off to Borstal or jail or so. Go to the bully, go and find another one. You know what I mean? He's doing a great job, but we need more. But they're beating up future child killers. I was listening to the radio in England a few weeks back, Radio 4, quite highbrow. There was a discussion about political correctness. My name came up straight away, right? And there was this woman on there going, oh yeah, well it's not right. Ricky Gervais, he makes jokes about fat people. He wouldn't make jokes about gay people, would he? And being fat is like being gay. What? No, it's not. What? You can't choose your sexuality. As we've established, you choose whether to eat too much or not. You know, with your sexuality, you're born, you grow up, you discover you like same-sex relationships, and that's it. You're gay, okay? For being gay to be the same as being fat, you'd have to be born, be straight, grow up knowing you're straight, but gradually and consciously wean yourself onto cock. Oh. Happy 16th birthday, son. This is Raoul. Suck his cock. Sorry, father? Suck his cock. 16 now, suck his cock. I'm heterosexual. Oh, with his newfangled words. Suck his cock. Come on. Right. I don't like cock, father. Doesn't like cock. How do you know if you've never tried it? Suck his cock. Suck one cock. Suck. That's not sucking it. That's playing with you. Put it in your mouth. Put it. Look. Have a go. You might like it. Oh, it's not so bad, is it? I fucking love these. If that happened, then being gay would be the same as being fat, but it doesn't, so it's not, okay? I was on a plane last year, okay, going from New York to LA, okay? And me and my girlfriend were one side of the plane, there was the aisle, and the other side, there were these two huge fat women, okay? Proper fat. One of them just got on and went, "Can I have a belt extension?" "Yeah, of course you can, you've earned it," right? So, proper. In fact, I was thinking of calling the pilot out and going, "Should one of us swap with one of them? Otherwise, we're just going to Canada." Do you know what I mean? And one of them was even fatter than the other one, okay? And she was there, and she'd got on the plane with one of those takeaway buckets of fast food. Bucket! I mean, there's your first clue. When did that happen? When did fat people just give up? When did they go into a shop and go, "Oh, fuck it, just treat me like a farmyard animal"? Really? Give me it in a bucket. In fact, just strap it to my fucking head and I'll just... A bucket? Really? You want your meal in a bucket? Yes. Right? So, she's there and she's chowing down, right? And I swear, she turns to her fat friend and says, "This is the best fried chicken I've had all day." But I'm not having a go. I'm not having a go. No, I'm not. No, I'm not. Because even though it is their own fault, and it is their own fault, I don't know if you know this about fat people, they fucking love cake. They love it. They love it, right? And I blame the food industries, because you go into a supermarket and it's just packed with that stuff. Everything's packed with hydrogenated fats and extra calories and sugar and butter and everything, and they love that, okay? And there's always a big door, isn't there, to a supermarket? It's always, they've got a quadruple door, isn't it? No one's ever been too fat to get through the door of a supermarket, okay? And it opens automatically, so they don't have to waste calories pushing anything. There's just... And it's a good job it opens automatically, because usually it's glass and they can see the pie from down the road and they're in like that. Grazing, right? So, I say, keep the big door, sure, keep the big door, come on fat people, come in you go. But when they get in there, it's all fresh fruit and veg. It's all whole grain, it's all stuff that's good for you, okay? Of course they'll be confused at first, they go, "Well, that's not real food to them." They think Brussels sprouts is packaging, right? They're looking, where's the cakes? The cakes are over here, but the cakes are through a different door. But this door is human-sized, okay? So now they go, "There's the cakes." They go, "Oh, fuck, I can't get in. I can't get through the fucking door. I can't. And they're starving. They go, "Oh, God, what's this? I've got to eat some, what's this, a banana?" Like, and they go, "Oh, no, I still can't. Back and have a carrot." They're back and forth for days, and the fat's fallen off them. Soon they can slip through the door and have a cake. They can't get out again. No, but I mean... But we've got to do something. We've got to intervene. And people say, "No, it's nothing to do with you. It's up to them. It's their body. It's their life." And that's true. But we don't say that about wearing crash helmets. Or if you've got a heroin addict in the family, you don't go, "Oh, it's his life. He loves heroin." You know, you go, "No, you've got to stop this. Please don't die." And you get him and you throw him in a cupboard for 3 weeks or something. You can't throw a fat person in a cupboard. You'll do your back in like me. But, you know... Heroin addicts, they don't weigh anything, you can throw them around willy-nilly, right? But, in fact, when they're lying there with a needle hanging out, you just get the needle and flick and they just go into the cupboard like that, okay? Fat people, you've got to lure them in. A little trail of chocolates and they just follow that anywhere, like that. But we... Hello. Chicago. How are you? Wow. Wow. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you. That was an amazing welcome. I should explain something straight away. Usually when I come out on stage, it's amazing, okay? I'm doing cartwheels and backflips. It's fucking spectacular, right? But I've hurt my back. That's true, actually. I've pulled a muscle in my spine playing golf. I know what you're thinking. Serves me right for playing such a stupid game as golf. But, no, I've been in agony. I'm actually on painkillers right now. So, no, it's true. If I suddenly start talking like Paula Abdul, you'll know why. I'm not drunk. So, when the doctor, this is true, when the doctor gave me the painkillers, he said, no, you can't drink alcohol with these. And I went, I don't want them then. He went, what? I said, give me some you can drink alcohol with. Right? And he went, well, you're not meant to drink with any painkillers. Who are you, my fucking mother? Just... So I've been walking around like the Elephant Man for days, but without the big cock, obviously. I assume he had a big elephant's cock to match the head, though that would make things all right then, wouldn't it? That would sort of balance it out. No, because then he'd look in the mirror and he'd sort of go, oh, no. Oh, look at that fucking head. Oh, hold on, though. What's going on down here? Hey! Oh, swings and roundabouts. Let's celebrate. The buns are on me. So, yeah, that's my problems. I didn't cancel, though. Don't you hate that when an artist cancels? You turn up and goes, concert cancelled due to sore throat. Oh, or I couldn't go on, I was depressed. Oh, poor little artist. Oh, can you imagine a labourer trying that? Turn up going, I've got a little tickle and I'm fed up. Oh, move the fucking bricks, mate. Never cancel. I had a gig in Dublin a couple of months ago, okay, and as you know, Dublin is in Ireland, which is off, it's off the coast of Great Britain. It's not part of Britain, but it's very close. It's sort of like our Cuba, I suppose. It's like... And so, okay, so Dublin O2 Arena, 10,000 seats, sold out well in advance, flights booked, really looking forward to it. A few days before the gig, they start grounding the aeroplanes because there's a volcanic ash cloud over Britain, okay? And if you fly through it, apparently it'll make the plane fall out of the sky. And it was like, that was it. You couldn't fly in that. I mean, a volcano goes off in Iceland and we can't... what's the point of Iceland, really? You know what I mean? What are they... Just fill in all the volcanoes with concrete, okay? Just... In fact, tarmac the whole country and make it a car park for real Europe, because it's a waste of fucking space, okay? And so, I'm thinking, well, I've got to get there. I can't cancel. And there were sort of pop stars and people coming over and they were cancelling their flight because they couldn't get in and out. I thought, I can't. So, I hired a helicopter to and from Dublin. It cost me £12,000, right? Just because I couldn't bear to let anyone down. Or take the ferry. They were still running, sure. But that would have meant mixing with the general public. This is about as close as I ever. So, I don't know if you're affected by the volcanic ash cloud, but I have friends that are stuck all over the world and they missed weddings and funerals and they had to put themselves up in a hotel for extra days that they hadn't budgeted for and they couldn't get their money back because the airlines were saying, no, we can't pay you because the insurance companies won't pay us because they're saying it's an act of God. What is an act of God? No, if you believe in God, that's sort of the definition of him, isn't it? That he does everything. Isn't that right? Everything is an act of him. He's all-powerful, he's everywhere but one. He invented everything, there was nothing before him. He invented time, everything, he's across it all, okay? He doesn't miss a trick and he's not absent-minded. A volcano going off, it's like him going, fuck, I'll lift the oven on. You know, it's... And who are these insurance companies that can decide what is and isn't an act of God? How do they know? Okay, have they got a hotline to God? They call him up, do they? Ring, 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 ring. Hello? Can I speak to God, please? Speaking. Oh, I didn't think you'd answer the phone yourself. What do you want? That volcanic ash cloud. Was that you?
That was an act of me, all right? So I shouldn't pay out. No, don't fucking pay out penny, son. No. Brilliant, brilliant. While I've got you here, did you make a tree fall on Steve Baxter's car? There's a lot of Steve Baxters. Steve Baxter, 2 Acacia Road, Hounslow. It happened at 2:15 on the 3rd of June this year. 2:15, 3rd of June. No, that wasn't me. I was in Africa that day giving AIDS to babies. He does everything. He does everything. I don't make the rules. And well, I'm glad. Happy, smiley face is probably feeling very fortunate that you managed to get a ticket to see a living legend. All right. I know.
Watch special of the year. I thought everyone loves me now. Everyone loves me now. Then I got this tweet. Real tweet. Call yourself a comedian? He knows I do. Literally says the word in my Twitter bio. Call yourself a comedian? You're about as funny as... Now, I thought he was going to go for the jugular and say Miranda or... Come on. Come on, guys. Don't... I'm joking. Right. Call yourself a comedian? You're about as funny as a fart at a baby's funeral. He was trying to hurt my feelings. But his big mistake was choosing something that would be fucking hilarious. As if that would... A fart at a baby's funeral. Big echoey church. Everyone just silently sobbing like that. Tiny little coffin. Tiny little coffin. And someone farts. You'd laugh. Even if it was your baby. You know, no. If you're at the funeral, it's been dead a week, do you know what I mean? You're probably up for a giggle. Particularly if you're the father. If you're the mother, you probably still find it hard seeing the funny side of things. Oh, women. Not all women. I mean the old-fashioned ones. You know, the old-fashioned women. Oh, God. You know, the ones with wombs. Oh. Those fucking dinosaurs. No, I love the new women. I know the new women. They're great, aren't they? You know, the new ones we've been seeing lately. The ones with beards and cocks. They're as good as gold. I love them. No, it's the old-fashioned. And now the old-fashioned, they go like, oh, they want to use our toilets. Why shouldn't they use your toilets? For ladies. They are ladies. Look at their pronouns. What about this person isn't a lady? Well, his penis. Her penis, you fucking bigot. What if he rapes me? What if she rapes you? You fucking turf whore. My last show, Supernature, dropped on Netflix last year. Big backlash, wasn't there? Big backlash. People going, you can't say that. You can. You can. I did. Yeah, the inevitable backlash, which made it the most watched special of the year. So, I've learnt my lesson. No, I have learnt my lesson, and that's why I'm going to be woke from now on. It's about time. Well, I'm sorry. Well, I am woke, and now I'm woke, the first thing I've got to do is change my Twitter bio. Because at the moment, it's like a list of the shows I've created. But now I'm woke, I've got to pop in the word anti-fascist. So people know I'm not a fascist, because that is a big problem at the moment. People come up to me on the street and they go, Rick, have you been imprisoning journalists? I go, no. They go, oh, interesting. They go, have you been gassing Jews? I go, no. They go, well, pop it in your bio then, you silly cunt. So, yeah, I'm not a fascist. It's an odd thing to just declare, isn't it, that you're not a fascist? We assume, don't we? You wouldn't go up to someone on the street and do that, would you? And go say, oh, by the way, I'm not a fascist. You know, it's like they protest too much. It's like going into a school and going, I'm not a pedo, so just forget I even mentioned it. So these kids are safe running around me. They can run around naked for all I care. I'm not a pedo, so... Of course, the word fascist has changed. Traditionally, the word fascist meant a member of a far-right authoritarian regime that uses militarism and violence to suppress individual rights. Now, the word fascist can mean liked a Joe Rogan tweet. So, words change, yeah? And that's part of the reason I'm going to become woke, is words change, and I don't want to be left behind, you know? I don't want to end up like my granddad in the 70s. Oh, he was all like, coloured's this and queer's that. Oh. Although the word queer is all right again now. So if you wait long enough, it just goes full circle. Just be patient is my... So yeah, you can use the word queer. You still can't use it as a noun, only as an adjective. You can't go up to someone and go, you're a queer, but you can go, hear about Darren? He's queer now. The big controversy last time I did it was a Caitlyn Jenner joke, right? Oh, outrage on Twitter the next day. And by outrage, I mean a couple of people going, it was transphobic. It wasn't transphobic in the slightest. It was a joke about a trans person, but the joke had nothing to do with that aspect of her existence. And that's the other thing about offence. People get offended when they mistake the subject of a joke with the actual target, and they're not necessarily the same. I'll tell you the joke. You make your own minds up. Right. So... it's live, so they go, and now your host for the 68th Annual Golden Globe Awards, please welcome Ricky Gervais. They come on, and they're all clapping, all the actors are looking up, smiling at me nervously. It's brilliant, right? So I just go... relax, I'm going to be nice tonight. I've changed. Not as much as Bruce Jenner, obviously. And I go, now Caitlyn Jenner, of course, and what a year she's had. Became a role model for trans people everywhere, bravely breaking down barriers and destroying stereotypes. She didn't do a lot for women drivers, right? So... that's a clever joke, and I'll tell you why, right? It's layered. No, listen, right? The subject of that joke is stereotypes. I'm playing with the notion of stereotypes, right? So I start off saying, she's a real woman. Some would say a liberal, progressive attitude. Then I go, oh, if she's a real woman, I hit them with the old-fashioned reactionary stereotype. She must be a bad driver then, right? And the target of the joke is a celebrity killing someone in their car. Let's not forget that, shall we? A celebrity killing someone in their car, running home and popping on a dress. That's the target of the joke, just so we're clear, okay? She was interviewed about a week later at some press conference for a show she was launching, now cancelled. And the press were around and one of them said, what do you think of the Ricky Gervais joke? And she went, maybe I should host the Golden Globes, right? And they tweeted that, and they atted me in, because they want a celebrity feud, you know? It was clickbait, so I rose to the bait, obviously. I just sent back, let her host, just don't let her drive. Another website that was in the room, Entertainment Weekly, they tweeted a different headline, and they atted me in as well. And their headline was, Caitlyn finally breaks silence over Ricky Gervais. I just sent back, at last. She always breaks too late. Bring it on. Bring it on. But I'm a considered comedian. I like my jokes to be accurate and my targets to be fair. So I was engaging these people. I was saying, why is it transphobic? And they were saying, it's about a trans person. I said, well, that's ridiculous. That's like saying a joke about Bill Cosby is automatically racist. It depends on the joke. But I was talking to them, I'm willing to learn, and I found out my crime was that I dead-named her. Now, I'd never heard that term before a day after the Golden Globes, and that was saying her old name and even acknowledging that she used to be a man. But she did. I saw him on the Olympic Games. It was decathlon. It was in everything. He was all over the place. Shot put and pole vault. He won a medal. He was famous. He was on telly all the time. But, a big, famous man with a huge, I don't know, but I mean, I'm guessing he's a big, but I've learned my lesson. Now, I'd never dead name her now. Now I know it's wrong. I'd never dead name her now. But like years ago, when, she was a man, it was years ago, I'm saying, right? And she went to the doctor, right? And knocked on the door, and the doctor went, "Come in." This is years ago. I was saying, I'd never dead name her now, but this is like a flashback before anyone. Do you know what so, come in, and he went, "Hello, Bruce Jenner," because that was his name then. The doctor, this was years ago, and the doctor went, "Oh, I'm Bruce Jenner, you big old... How you doing, boy, you fucker? How you doing? You big old lunt. Oh, how you doing, boy? Come here, you fucker. How you doing, Brucey boy? You all right? Right? And Bruce Jenner, because that was his name, this is years ago, right? So Bruce Jenner went, "Yeah, doctor. Yeah, not too bad, doctor, yeah. Not too bad, right?" And I was like, "What can I do for you, Bruce? You fucker. How you doing, boy?" And Bruce Jenner went, because that was his name. Bruce Jenner went, "Look at that." And they went, "Oh, come on, Bruce Jenner, you know the rules." He uses his whole name every time for some reason. I don't know why. "Come on, Bruce Jenner, you fucker, you know the rules. You can't bring your big old pole vaulting pole in here, mate, And Bruce Jenner went, "No, that's not my pole vaulting pole, that's my enormous penis." And I thought, "Oh, right, yeah, seeing as it is your penis, you can bring it in here. But you should have left your shot puts outside." And Bruce Jenner went, that was his name for 58 years, I think. He went, "No, they're not my shot puts, they're my enormous testicles. That's where I keep my testosterone and my spunk and shit, right?" And the doctor went, "Oh, yeah, that makes perfect. I am a medical man, and that you're a big bloke." "Oh, you fucker. How you doing, boy? You're a big... You're big, and you would have a big old cock and balls. They're beautiful. They're a bit familiar, isn't it?" And I go, "No, but you must be very proud of them, Bruce." Bruce Jenner went, "Oh, this is going to surprise you, doctor. I want to get rid of them." And the doctor went, "What? Why?" "Ah, they get in the way." "Get in the way of what?" "Fucking driving, for one thing." So I'm engaging these people, and I'm saying, but I had to say her old name because that gets me into the joke. I say, "I've changed, not as much as Bruce Jenner," and then I do the actual joke. I went, "No, this is my second crime." I say, "She hasn't changed, right? She's always been a woman," because she's... How subjective it is. How one person... Some people can find them hilarious, some people find them the least funny person in the world. And when someone says to me about another comedian, they say, "Oh, they're not funny." Even if I agree with them, I stand up and I say, "Well, you can't say that. You've got to say, you don't find them funny, And I hate it when people say, "That joke was offensive." I say, "No, you've got to say, you found it offensive." Because it's all about feelings, and feelings are personal. And there's loads of types of comedy, and comedy evolves, There's a new type of comedy at the moment called woke comedy, right? No, it's very progressive, There are some clubs now where the comedian has to sign a thing saying he won't say anything contentious or he won't say anything that could offend anyone. It's a safe space for the audience. Woke comedy. And I tried to watch a bit of it, and I decided I'd rather watch Louis C.K. masturbate. Can't mention him anymore. He's cancelled. Not enough to apologise and move on. You've got to... Like poor Kevin Hart. See, Kevin Hart, he got the job hosting the Oscars. It was his best day ever. He was on Twitter going, "Oh, I've wanted to do this all my life," right? And then someone found these 10-year-old tweets, right? That they were sort of childish, sort of shitty, homophobic tweets. It was about his son. He was mucking around. He said, "Oh, my son's doing so-and-so. I hope he's not gay." There was a massive backlash. He went, "Oh, sorry, I'm not homophobic, really sorry." He deleted them, right? And said, "I'm really sorry." 10 years later, someone finds a screen grab and goes, look, he's done this. Oh, big. The Oscars go, oh, you got to apologise again. He went, no, I've apologised. I can't keep apologising. And he's right. If there's no value to saying sorry and evolving, he might as well just tweet him again. I mean, that's how I deal with shit. Anyway. But if you're the type of person to revel in someone getting cancelled for something they said 10 years ago, you're just ensuring that one day you'll be cancelled for something you said today. You can't predict what will be offensive in the future. You don't know who the dominant mob will be. You know, like, the worst thing you can say today, get you cancelled on Twitter, death threats, whatever, the worst thing you can say today is, women don't have penises, right? Now, no one saw that coming. There are Oxbridge comedians writing for the posh papers, thinking the rules of comedy. They're laying it down, laying down the law, right? And it's all stuff like, comedy should punch up. You should never punch down. You should never punch down. Sometimes you've got to punch down. Like, if you're beating up a disabled toddler. You know what I mean? If you punch up, you'll miss the little cunt and he'll win, you know? I like that joke because it highlights the difference between metaphorical punching down in jokes and actual punching down. But people nowadays want you to believe that words are actual violence, right? Now, you laughed at a joke about beating up a disabled toddler. No one got hurt. If I'd have actually dragged out a disabled toddler and started beating him up, you would laugh, right? That's why I dropped that bit. But these people are virtue signalling. They're trying to bring people down to raise their own status. And they say it's because, no, we're protecting minorities. Like, they're basically saying minorities haven't got a sense of humour, which is so patronising. And I get that as well, to what it's like to be outnumbered. In this country, we're still only 5% black, 5% Asian, 5% LGBTQ, you know, tiny numbers. Now, I'm a white, heterosexual multi-millionaire, right? There's less than 1% of us. Do I whine? No. Do I don't mind. I just get on with it. Come on, Rick. Come on, Rick. Just keep I'm like Rosa Parks. Do you know what I mean? I'm like... Except I fought for the right to never have to take a seat on a bus. But... Just people complain about things they don't have to watch. It doesn't affect them, you know? And again, everyone's got the right to be offended and complain, but they've got to know that we're not trying to offend. That's not our aim. You know, we're trying to make you laugh. We're trying to give you a good time. And yeah, here's the deal, right? So I riff. If I say something tonight that's so offensive, so off that you've never heard anything so fucking off the charts in your life, right? Don't make a scene. Go to the box office after the show. They can't give you money back straight away, but there's a form you fill out with the complaint, and I take those away and I shit on them. So humanity. What is humanity? What are we? Well, we've touched upon it there. We're great apes. Not metaphorically, we're literally great apes. We are 98.6% genetically identical to a chimpanzee. We're closer to chimps than chimps are to gorillas. We left our common ancestor about 6 million years ago. We have the same life cycle as any other animal, which is our parents mate, we're born, we grow, we mate, our parents die, all our friends die, and then we die. Now, my 7-year-old niece didn't like hearing that, right? But I said, you've got to look. I said, stop crying. I said, you're 7, you know, today. So... any more grisly and this party's cancelled. So let's take the first of those, right? Birth. It's already an odd one for humanity because the human being is born before the end of its natural gestation period. And by that, I mean, because of our evolution, our brain is so big, we have to get that huge head out early. That's why the skull is in parts and supple, right? And then we have to carry on gestating outside the womb. That's why we're so useless. Compare us to other mammals, right? A giraffe is walking along, it goes, oh, I'm proper pregnant, right? I'm gonna have a baby giraffe right here, right? Yeah, there it is. See you later, right? And the baby goes, Mum, can I get a... It's got to be fucking ready, right? We're helpless, right? Just think of that, right? 9 months, we're just growing in this perfect environment, just like that. Just everything's... It's like being a little Kate Bush video, right? And then suddenly, and you're being squeezed out of an hole near an arse. You're covered in shit, they're screaming. You go, I can't breathe. Someone goes, yes, you fucking can, right? That's the first 1 second of life on Earth. You don't know where you are. You can't choose where you're born. I was born in a place called Whitley Estate in Reading, right? Yeah, no, I wouldn't have chosen that. I'd have chosen Hampstead. I did choose Hampstead. It just took me 45 years to be able to afford it, right? Very different, my upbringing, you know.